What's up, guys? It's me, Bjorn. I can no longer call myself a movie archaeologist, you see, because, unfortunately, it's been too long since I found a movie artifact out in some badass temple or something. And because of that, I've lost my movie archaeologist license. This is what's happened. It's because I haven't made a movie review in like 6 or 8 months. I don't know. I haven't done one. So here I am. I can't even afford the green screen anymore. It's just a green wall behind me. And I've lost my awesome archaeologist outfit. I was not just too lazy to put it on. But maybe if I review a few more artifacts, we'll be back in the silly costume. Anyway, yeah, it's me, Bjorn. I'm here to review Supergirl. This is what we're doing. We're reviewing Supergirl. Supergirl is a movie which I saw. It is the second DCU superhero film, and the second one produced under the James Gunn universe, and it's kind of a fucking mess. Sorry to tell y'all, I was really excited for this movie for 2 reasons. Number 1, I like James Gunn's DCU. I liked the Superman movie. I like Peacemaker. I like Creature Commands. Like the Suicide Squad. Obviously, big fan of that. I'm the DC guy. It's like half of what I do on this channel is writing DC scripts, which, call me James Gunn, you clearly need me. Reason number 2, the comic book this is based on, Woman of Tomorrow, is a pretty excellent comic book. Something I will circle back to at the end of this review with some spoilers. I got to see this movie at one of their early little fan screenings or whatever here, and it was fucking empty. There was not a lot of people in there. I'll tell you what, this movie's gonna flop. It's gonna flop, unfortunately. I don't think this will kill the DCU like a bunch of grifters are going to say, but it's not looking good, guys. I'll be honest. James Gunn made a whole spiel about how we're not producing anything unless the script is up to snuff. And I'm a big James Gunn supporter. I've been a big defender of him, but dude, if this is what it looks like when you're not writing a script that's up to snuff, this movie is a messy mess. I don't know if it happened in the editing room, and it maybe did, because I kind of get that vibe. So many lines of dialogue or scenes are just chopped as shit. The editing is really quite bad in this movie, I felt. Not quite like Suicide Squad 2016 level bad editing, but there's some bad editing. A lot of the fights there's really odd stylistic choices that make it kind of hard to follow the fights. And of course, the worst thing about this movie is the script. It's not good. Let me give some praise first before I get into what I didn't like about this movie. Jason Momoa and Millie Alcock, both are great. I don't think I was ever really up in the air. Millie Alcock, for some people. I watched House of the Dragon. For those who follow my channel or know me, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. The books, the Song of Ice and Fire books, love them. So I've watched House of the Dragon. Season 1, Millie Alcock carried. She was amazing. She's great in that show. Her acting alongside Patty Constantine, so good. It's a kind of a shame. Because she's good in this movie. She's a really good Supergirl. I see the vision. I actually think she does a strong enough job in this movie that if she shows up in the future, even though this movie kind of isn't great, no one's really going to care because she's very likable. Lobo, though, dude, knocks it out of the park. Oh, he's so good. He's not in it a lot. Kind of more of a cameo almost, but not quite because he's in it enough. He's great. Just get a solo Lobo movie, please. Should have made that instead of this. Probably would have done better. Alright, let's just talk about this. This movie is bizarre to me, especially having seen it now, for a couple reasons. One, it was a really bad idea to follow up Superman with this movie. Superman, it's a movie about a Kryptonian. You follow it up with Supergirl, a movie about a Kryptonian, and you follow that up with Superman 2. I think that's a mistake. I think that's a very obvious mistake. If I were James Gunn, what I would have done: Superman, something else, Batman, Flash, fucking Booster Gold, Zatanna, Justice League Dark, something else, I don't know, just some other something completely different. Even Clayface would have been a good pick. I don't know. This movie, I know James Gunn's like, oh, we only produce something when the script is right. If you see this movie, you'll very quickly figure out that the script for this movie is just not very good. I didn't care for it. I don't know how this happened. It's interesting to me. I feel like the output from DC has been better since the takeover, so this movie feels decisively like it came out of the old regime. which isn't great. Let's talk about the flaws of the movie now in detail. Needle drops. Dude, this movie is very much Guardians of the Galaxy needle drops, but they're just not very good. Some of them, I wasn't sure if they were supposed to be a joke or if they're supposed to be badass. They're just not good. I prefer a score more than ever. I've now come around to scores. Now, it's ironic coming from me, because in the scripts I write for this channel, I tend to use a lot of needle drops. It's something I've kind of moved away from. I think they can be effective and they can be fun, but dude, they're just such a trite thing now. Let's go back to a really good orchestral score. You know what had a really good score? It's Fantastic Four, that movie. I listened to that score. It's so fucking great. If Supergirl had a score like that, it can help elevate an otherwise kind of boring movie. And it needed that bad. Superman didn't rely much on needle drops. There's like one or two of them, but for the most part, that movie is carried by that excellent reverb of the John Williams score. And that really, really helped. Supergirl really needed something like that, and it doesn't have it. Let's discuss the elephant in the room. The villain in this movie is Krim of the Yellow Hills. He's the same villain, though you wouldn't know it from looking at him, from the Woman of Tomorrow comic. A lot of people were complaining about his look change. I get it. The guy in the comic book just looks like a guy, which is kind of interesting in its own right, but I understand the sort of idea behind changing him into, like, Pinhead. I understand the idea. I get the appeal. I actually don't hate him in this movie. I just don't feel like he got enough fleshing out. He's kind of funny, and he's kind of, I don't know, he's like crazy guy, like the Joker, but I think he falls a little bit too close to Jared Leto Joker, and not quite where you'd want a chaotic character like this. That all being said, I think I see what they were going for. I think, like a lot of things in this movie, it needed more time in the oven. Speaking of things that need more time in the oven, Ruthie, oh boy, yeah. She does not have a lot to do in this movie, and I see the potential for what they're going for. I've read the comic, I understand the idea of the relationship there, but they kind of bungle the whole thing. There's not enough time with her and Kara just chatting. All the times we have them chatting, it's all in service of Kara's backstory. Seeing Supergirl's backstory. Not a smart call, because it leaves their relationship being underdeveloped. To the point where, like, when they're like, we're best friends now, I'm like, are you? You guys have, like, talked to each other, like, 5 times. 3, maybe. Half of that time, they're together. They're not even together. I feel like they interact basically never. And there's some funny moments between them, but it just, like, clearly needed 20 or 30. It feels like a lot of this fell on the cutting room floor, maybe? Was this movie edited to shit? Is that what happened? I couldn't tell you, but the relationship is so underbaked that when you get to the finale, which we're going to talk about the finale, the relationship, like, the payoff doesn't land, because the bond hasn't been built between the characters, right? You don't have that fleshing out, that real connection between them, and they're also supposed to be more similar to each other. I think this movie made one massive mistake. So if I remember, the original comic book, there's no poison on the arrow that, well, okay. Spoilers for Supergirl and Woman of Tomorrow, I guess, but I mean, if you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm about to talk about, so just, you know, you decide, whatever. In the movie, Krypto gets stuck with a poison dart, and there's only a limited amount of time he has left, you know, if he's going to live or die. She has to find the antidote, which is around the neck of Krim of the Yellow Hills, giving Supergirl a reason to go after him. And she's on a ticking clock. Literally, we have a ticking clock, and it's ticking down. So here's a couple of things. In the original comic book, and you're going to immediately pick up, if you've seen the movie, why this is better. There is no poison, from what I remember. What's happened instead is Krypto may or may not die. She's not sure if he's going to live or not, and she goes out for revenge on Krim. It's not about finding a poison. The only reason she's going after Krim is purely for revenge, and along with her is Ruthie, this little girl seeking revenge as well. And as they travel together, Kara slowly but surely sees how it's tearing Ruthie apart. And we get some of those themes in this movie, but they fuck up. The fuck-ups are twofold. Number one, fuck-up number one, making it poison and not revenge that motivates Supergirl. Otherwise, she's not got any point of comparison. She's not really interested in revenge much, until she is. And so we don't get this, like, sort of slow burn connection between her and Ruthie, and that they're both after the same thing, and she gets a reflection of herself and what could happen to Ruthie and herself, right? And then you have the ending of this movie, spoilers. Unlike the comic book, where Kara sends him to the Phantom Zone and tries to reform Krim until ultimately she's able to reform him and make him a better man, proving that there's always redemption for anyone, something very Superman-y. In this movie, Kara fucking stabs him in the neck and kills him brutally with Rufia's sword, undoing the entire point of this movie. Supergirl's a massive fucking hypocrite in this movie. This is such a baffling choice for the ending. I don't know whose idea this was. This is a terrible, terrible idea. So this whole movie is about Kara trying to convince the little girl she doesn't need revenge. And then at the end of the movie, Kara ruthlessly takes revenge. It just blatantly takes revenge, making herself not only a murderer but a hypocrite, and almost no better than Krim. I mean, morally speaking, it's just a really bad idea. It's a bad ending. I'll just be frank with it. I'm just not going to beat around the bush. It's a bad ending. It actually undoes a lot of the potential payoff you could have. The ending of the comic book is just outright better because, A, the motivation for revenge is already there. The revenge in this feels out of place. The whole movie, she's just telling this little girl, revenge is pointless, there's no need for revenge. And then she's like, this is for my dog. Just immediately stabs this guy. What was the fucking message of this movie? Revenge is okay? Is that the fucking message? You can have that be your message, but it's like trying to have its cake and eat it too, and I don't understand what the thought process was. I don't mind Supergirl killing. That's not really my hang-up, dude. Y'all know me. I don't mind superheroes killing. I kind of like it, actually. But this movie to me feels like it's a mess. It's just a mess thematically. It's a mess tonally, and it ruins the comic book. It takes all the worst parts about the comic book. Let's talk about the best part of the comic book, actually. It's the plot in the comic book. The story is excellent, don't get me wrong, but it's the art. That art is it's breathtakingly beautiful. It's psychedelic. It's interesting. It's visually fascinating. And what did they do with that? You had it right there. It's on the page. We all see it. And they make it this muddy, ugly, generic piece of shit visual style. This movie looks fucking hideous in my opinion. It looks so goddamn ugly. And I don't know what they were thinking with that. Because, I mean, the visuals in the comic book are breathtaking. There's so much CGI in this movie already. Like, every sequence is CGI. Everything is CGI. So it wouldn't have been more expensive to make it look pretty. The lighting in this movie is bad. Like, this movie feels like it was directed by an amateur or someone who's kind of shit, which, from what I've read, that might actually be the case. It seems Gunn needs to reevaluate the writers he's hiring, because we've got, like, Baby's first writer on board here, and it shows, and we've got Baby's mediocre director, because he's had a couple of good movies, but, man, this is a mess, and this is not what you want from your second outing. This doesn't inspire confidence in me. I hope to God Lanterns is good. I was giving Lanterns a lot of grace on the assumption that, they've been really careful with how they're, approving scripts. But if Gunn isn't careful and more selective with how he handles this stuff going forward, he's going to kill his universe, which will be a shame because I really like the direction it's heading. I just think you need to get some talent. If you want to go for new, fresh talent, that's fine. I actually recommend that. But dude, you gotta pick them better, because this movie does not scream well written unless it was an edit hack job. And here's the other thing: the woman who wrote this movie is apparently writing Wonder Woman. No, let's pull her off that immediately. I know she might be your friend, and I know it's hard to make a hard choice like that, but this movie is crap, and writing wise, it's not very good, and it ruins otherwise perfect source material. So why don't we just pull it off? There's this thing, and I see this a lot in fantasy stuff, so I can speak to it, where these writers, these hackneyed writers, get brought on these projects, and they feel like they know better than the source material, and they feel like they don't actually have to adapt it. I've talked about this with Wheel of Time, a show I thought was just horrible, and it ruined a really great book series. I've seen this with Dresden Files. Don't get me started on that one. There's a bunch of other books where they just adapt these books, they change all the source material for the worst, and it's excuses always given that, like, we think we can update this for the modern era, or we know better than the original story. I want to see that story adapted. So when you promised me you're making an adaptation of Woman of Tomorrow, that's their pitch, right? They even called this Woman of Tomorrow at one point. And I suspect the name change may have been because they were planning on kind of wrecking the material. You can't then just butcher it. I mean, the expectations are very high when you promise to adapt that storyline, right? Look, I think a lot of the adaptation choices made here were kind of bad. I think they were baffling. That being said, I do think there is some enjoyment to be had in this movie. I think some of the action is pretty good. The acting is all really good. The flashback sequences on Krypton, I know I dogged on their placement earlier. That's just because of how they're placed in the edit. They're actually really good. Corn Sweat Superman shows up a bunch in this movie. He's delightful as always. He's great. There's no after credit scene, which is weird. This movie shows no indication of how they're setting anything up, which is maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. Yeah, this movie is just very, very mediocre, but as a fan of the original source comic book, it makes me furious, because it could have been so much better. All I see when I watch this is the potential, and it's there. It's like this movie almost does something great, and it just can't. If I was in that writing room, and this is like, I saw this movie maybe 45 minutes ago, I walked out of this theater, more Ruthie and Kara, no poison for Crypto, he's just seriously injured and is probably going to die. She's purely motivated by revenge and hatred. I like how much of a mess she is. I think that's all pretty good. Lobo is fine. Some people were complaining because he's not in the original comic. I actually don't hate his inclusion here, and I think he's pretty fun, so just leave him. Krim, maybe a little more motivation, or even less. You kind of got to pick a lane, and they couldn't do that. There's another thing in this movie that drives me crazy, is 90% of the movie, Kara is incapacitated by varying things that hurt Kryptonians. Poison, kryptonite, green sun. Only one of those, please. Just let her be a badass. If you need to, and this is an idea I floated with my friends, there's a subplot in this movie where the Krim's race, they're all male. And so, for generations, these Reavers have been, like, kidnapping women. Some reason Krim is strong. He's very strong, and there's this implication about the splinter group of Kryptonians. And in this movie, Krim knows a lot about Kryptonians somehow. I kind of thought, as I was watching the movie, that they were going to reveal that Krim was half Kryptonian, and that these Ravengers or whatever ravaged Kara's home planet after she left, or before she left somehow. Like the last of the Kryptonians were ravaged by them, and he's like half Kryptonian. And I thought that would be really interesting and kind of cool. And then you could have a fight, and you could actually have him fight her without her being weakened, because he's Kryptonian, right? Like, they could really throw down and she can defeat him. And they don't do that. Said there's just no explanation except he's stronger than 1,000 men. I don't know why or how. I think that could have been really interesting. It would have actually filled a lot of plot holes. We're already deviating from the source material significantly, so yeah. I think I would have also just changed the visual look of this movie. Can we, like, burn and bury this muddy, gray, ugly sci-fi future? I thought Superman was colorful and fun. I thought that's what we were going for going forward. You can have one planet be grimy like this, like a Mad Max looking planet, but every planet they go to, man, it looks like a bus stop in Missouri. It looks like shit. Can we just not make every fucking alien planet look like Detroit? Like, Krypton looks, like, interesting visually. Let's add some swirling nebulas, some bright colors, some weird alien planets that they can fight around. Oh, it'd be so great. That's what that comic does so well. And we're just like, why? Okay, I'm going to stop because I've talked about this movie a lot. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. It's very mid. I think I'm going to give this like a 6 out of 10. This is so disappointing because I had high hopes for this going in. The reviews are eating this thing alive. It's obviously going to flop at the box office. Gunn, this is a warning shot right here. You need to pivot. I think Man of Tomorrow will be good. I have no doubts about that because he's directing it, but he needs to rein in and very carefully select his directors. There's a lot of talent out there. You don't need to get these hacks just because they have a lot of experience working in the system. We've seen time and time again that if you get some of these younger guys, they'll make something interesting, and you can make up for their lack of experience by giving them some experienced people on set. These I call them falling up corporate guys. No offense to the director of this, but that's kind of the vibe I got from looking at some of his filmography. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's sure what this felt like. And the writers, man, there's so many talented writers out there. Just pick them better. This woman is an actress, I believe, and she hasn't written much from what I understand. No wonder. Yeah, that's really it, guys. If you're a fan of DC, I'm sorry. This might be disappointing for y'all. But, you know, I think there's still a chance. I think they need to very carefully select their next projects. Make a Flash movie. Just do it. Make a Flash movie. Make a character that's likable that everyone wants to see done well. Like Superman. Everyone wanted to see Superman. It didn't matter that there have been bad Superman movies in the past. I don't don't know. Green Lantern show, I have this gut feeling that that'll be good that I didn't have for this movie so much. So maybe I'm wrong, though. This is kind of shaking my confidence in that. So we'll see. This is a mess. If they make more like this, their universe is going to go the way of the Snyderverse. So let's hope they fix this. I'm just being honest. Let me know what y'all think below. If you agree with me, disagree with me, what you would have changed. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I've got a video coming up soon. I'm back, more or less. I've been super busy. Sorry, I keep promising to make new videos and not doing it. My life has been so hectic. Who knew moving to another country was a big ordeal? I'm doing that in less than a month, by the way. So there should be a couple videos. I'm going to disappear, and then I'll reappear. So y'all can see me then teaching in Japan. So I will see y'all then. Like and subscribe.